Now it is. There it is. Good morning. Freedom Family Friday is here.
Good morning, everybody.
So embarrassing.
There's a lot of people out there who can do that.
Yeah.
You could learn sign language. We should have a sign language interpreter on the bottom of the screen.
You know, there's like a whole job in the British tabloids for that, for the royal family and stuff, for like celebrities. So whenever like Prince Harry goes to meet with King Charles, they're like, you know, they can see them from like a half a mile away. And they're like, what did he actually say to Prince Harry? You know, and they do it because they read their lips. So.
Oh, that's awesome. It's a great skill to have, I think. Sign language in general is a great skill to have.
Yeah, and now we know that the audience that's tuning in this morning can hear us. It's Freedom Family Friday. Welcome to the Wake Up America show.
It's them. They need to get their hearing checked.
Yeah, it's a you problem. It's not an us problem. Our buddy Kelton texted us this morning. He's like, what time are you on? And I was like, 7 a.m. He's like, and I was like, why? Because I thought maybe they were going to be like, we need the studio at like 8 or something. But thankfully, no. The Wake Up America show studio is all ours this morning.
He just wanted to watch us?
Yeah, he wanted to tune in. He's got a long drive this morning. Drive safely, Kelton. We're glad and thankful that you're listening in this morning. And of course, we appreciate the use of the studio. We appreciate you very much. All right. Morning, AP. Love you, buddy, from South Dakota. I need not say more. Ninja Jake is at peace. So, yes, we know who you are. Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. We were in South Dakota not too long ago.
Yeah, that was a couple years ago, actually. We were there for Freedom Fest. That's right. All right. We've got a lot.
Mount Rushmore.
We got a lot to talk about today. Obviously, Donald Trump on 34 counts of felonies is convicted. Now,
shame.
So for the 2024 election, we get to choose between the Groomer, the Coomer, and the Felon.
Yeah, thank you for teaching me what a Coomer is this morning. I was feeling very lost.
So do you think you can describe what a Coomer is now?
So it's somebody who acts on their fetishes.
Well, yeah.
In a nutshell. I mean, without getting too graphic.
Yes, right. So it's kind of like a scraggly male character who's mocked as an excessive onanist.
I'm picturing one of those people with really bad hygiene, pimples all over their face, greasy hair, really obese.
Right. So I'm pulling up, I think, the Urban Dictionary here so people can see. Oh, no, it's actualdictionary.com. What does Coomer mean? Yes. It's more broadly, it's an ironic insult for an oversexed man or generally a loser. So this is Joe Biden. So that's because of the Ashley Biden diary that came out where he
he would shower with her?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we've already kind of talked about that. Like, you're really going to try to stay covered up around Hazel. You're not going to be weird like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not. Here's the thing. It's one thing to not be covered up, just you walk around in your underwear. That's one thing. He showered with her.
I wonder when she was.
It was like 11 or something. It was pretty weird. It was
especially for a girl who's developing.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Yeah. So he's the Coomer. And then you got the Libertarian Party candidate. He's the Groomer because he's the one who thinks that little children should be allowed to go to drag queen story hours.
Right. And get
hormone blocker treatment. Right. Yes. Drag queen story hours, very Groomer behavior. And then we've got the Felon, Donald Trump.
Yes.
Felon it is.
Oh, goodness. Which is the least evil of all of those? That is quite a moral question.
Well, here's the thing. Donald Trump, I mean, he slept with a porn star, okay?
She's not even that hot, you guys. I was looking at pictures of her this morning.
I love the Babylon Bee headline on it that came out, and it said that Trump explains to the jury that Stormy Daniels was actually way hotter back then.
I could see him doing that. Actually, you guys, she was way hotter.
But the charges are BS because the crime is that they're saying is that it was an accounting error that was made to influence the outcome of the election. He paid hush money to a corn star in order to influence the outcome of the election so that he would win in 2016, and that's what they're busting him on, right?
I don't think it was an accounting error. I think it was an intentional error.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They weren't just like, oh, oops, sorry, forgot to put that in there. I don't think he wanted to put that in there.
They say it's an error. They say that they could prove it, but the people who are accusing him of it are people that you don't trust, like Michael Cohen and Stormy Daniels and a bunch of sleaze
Soros,
people who have perjured themselves and lied under oath.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, I don't know. what people are most upset about. Are they upset that he cheated on his wife?
No.
If they are, look at most of Americans.
Let's
They
hear.
cheat.
Let's hear how Donald Trump responded yesterday after the charges. Take a listen.
Are you worried about going to jail?
You worried about going to jail? Are you worried about going to jail?
The press.
This was a disgrace. This was a rigged trial by a conflicted judge who was corrupt. It's a rigged trial, a disgrace. They wouldn't give us a venue change. We were at 5% or 6% in this district, in this area. This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here. You have a Soros-backed DA, and the whole thing. We didn't do a thing wrong. I'm a very innocent man, and it's okay. I'm fighting for our country. I'm fighting for our Constitution. Our whole country is being rigged right now. This was done by the Biden administration in order to wound or hurt an opponent, a political opponent. And I think it's just a disgrace. And we'll keep fighting. We'll fight till the end and we'll win. Because our country's gone to hell. We don't have the same country anymore. We have a divided mess. We're a nation in decline, serious decline. Millions and millions of people pouring into our country right now from prisons and from mental institutions, terrorists. And they're taking over our country. We have a country that's in big trouble. But this was a rigged decision right from day one with a conflicted judge who should have never been allowed to try this case, never. And we will fight for our Constitution. This is long from over. Thank you very much.
Fascinating times we live in. I spoke to Judge Napolitano about this on Wednesday, Stephanie, on what would happen in terms of like jail. Obviously, this is completely unprecedented, but the sentencing for this isn't going to happen until July 11th.
Correct.
And of course, he's going to appeal it. They say that so each charge carries a term of potential maximum of up to 4 years in prison, but the cap is 27 years.
I mean, he's not going to live that long. I mean, he's already in his 70s, isn't he?
Right. So here's the thing. They capped it at 27 years. In theory, it could be 134, but they capped it, right? Or it could be just probation, right? So he would have to go to probation in New York. But if they did sentence him to jail time, and he's in New York, so they're going to do that. They're going to sentence him.
Would he have to like pick up trash on the side of the road probation with one of those reflector vests?
I don't know. I don't know about that. But he now, so he'll get sentenced on July 11th. The appeal, he might take the appeal directly to the Supreme Court. We'll see about that, what happens there. But if he gets convicted and they sentence him to jail, and the sentencing guidelines require that it be carried out before he becomes president of the United States, like what if even if they serve him, let's say, to a week or a month in jail, like he has to spend December in jail, let's say he spends December in jail.
This is a great Christmas. I'm having a lot of fun.
And then, I know, can you imagine like him giving an address from prison?
Are you allowed to have cameras in prison if you're running for office? Would they make an exception? Because I know cell phones are not allowed for most people in jail.
This is kind of the question, right? So Donald Trump would be he's the first former president to be convicted of a felony.
Correct.
He still has Secret Service protection.
So he'd have them outside of his jail cell?
So that's the question, is he would obviously have to be separated from other prisoners.
I would hope so.
But would the Secret Service agents who are keeping him safe have to be inside the cell with him? Or would they have to be outside of the cell, right? Because in some sense, you're not just putting him in jail then, you're also putting the Secret Service in jail.
This is great. We need a reality TV show based around this. I mean, I just love this drama. It's wonderful.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. went on Fox News last night, and he responded to the situation. Take a listen.
What do you think happened down there in Lower Manhattan today?
I think, Jesse, that it is going to backfire. This conviction is going to backfire on the Democrats. I think every time that President Trump has been indicted that his approval ratings actually increase, his popularity increases. I think there's a large number of Americans who are going to see this as the politicization of and the weaponization of the enforcement agencies. And I think it's going to hurt. It's bad for our democracy. I think the Democrats feel like they have, the DNC feels like it has a candidate that cannot win fair and square in the polls. And so they have to win in the courts. They have to win by clearing the deck and getting their other opponents out of the race. I'm not a fan of President Trump's, but I want to win. I want to beat him in a campaign on a level playing field. I want to talk about his issues, about locking down the economy, shutting down 3.3 million businesses, about running up a $34 trillion debt, about engaging us in forever.
It's a pretty classy response there from RFK Jr.
Absolutely. He's trying to remain as unbiased as possible. The thing is, in any campaign, people are going to try to blackmail you. They're going to try to pull out every photograph, every bad thing you've ever done. Any candidate faces that. So I can see where, he probably wanted to hush this woman up. I can understand why you'd want to do that.
He posted a tweet that was pretty good yesterday. Listen to this. The Democratic Party's strategy is to beat Trump in the courtroom rather than the ballot box. This will backfire in November. Even worse, it is profoundly undemocratic. America deserves a president who can win at the ballot box without compromising our government's separation of powers or weaponizing the courts. You can't save democracy by destroying it first. The Democrats are afraid they will lose in the voting booth, so instead they go after Trump in the courtroom. I'm also running against President Trump in this election. The difference is I'm challenging him on his record, his lockdowns during COVID, his atrocious environmental record, his cozy relationship with corporate America, his support for the war machine, his failure to root out waste and corruption in Washington, his service to the billionaire class, his bloating of the national debt. These are the issues that shape American lives. I'll challenge him on these things, but the Democrats won't. You know why? Because they pursue the very same policies. I'll tell you this. I think that if RFK Jr. were the Democratic nominee, he would probably win. Because I think
do better than Biden.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
he would do much better than Biden. He would do much better than Biden.
Even though doesn't he have a brain-eating amoeba, some sort of worm? So maybe his cognitive abilities are going to get worse, just like Biden. We don't know what's going to happen.
How dare you?
Yes, he did have a brain-eating worm. Yes.
I don't think I could listen to an address with his voice. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He would need AI to probably do a voiceover for him.
It's not pretty. It's difficult to listen to.
I feel bad.
As
for
painful as that is,
Right.
it's true.
But it's true. We have to get our priorities straight. What is really important?
Yes.
Focusing on this porn star that he gave money to?
Well, here
Or focusing on the real issues of Americans.
yesterday, the Trump campaign got an immediate avalanche of cash after the guilty verdict. Their donation site, Steffi, crashed. So the page displayed an error saying something went wrong. He received massive influxes of cash from major donors after the verdict, including $300,000 from Sequoia Capital partner Sean McGuire. The timing isn't a coincidence. McGuire wrote on X in the past they have donated both to the DNC and the Republican Party, as well as the Lincoln Project.
Why would you donate to both?
Because same reason
Isn't
Donald.
that like making them on an equal playing field? Like, oh, I'll donate to you and you. Okay.
Do you know, Stephanie, why I love you and I married you? Because you're so innocent and sweet that you would ask questions like that because you've been so isolated from the real world. I married Stephanie because she lived like a nun in a convent with her mother for most of her life. She asked the question, why would you donate to both candidates? And you honestly don't know. Let's see if you can.
Why would you help both if you want one to win?
Okay, Stephanie, let's work this out for just a moment. I want you to think about this and tell me what would logically inspire someone to donate to both candidates.
Donate to both candidates.
Why would someone donate to both candidates, sweetheart?
They want them both to have an advantage for some reason. With,
who would receive the benefits? Who would get the cui bono in Italiano or Latino?
Who would receive the benefits?
Who would really receive the benefits? If you donate to both candidates, what happens when one wins?
When one wins, then the other candidate gets the money for next time. they get to keep that money for running another time? They would have it in their fund? No?
Stephanie.
I have no idea.
Stephanie, you have no idea why
No.
someone would donate to both candidates.
No, no. Just to make the other candidates outside of that not have as much money.
My wife is
So like the Green Party and the Communist Party and the Libertarians, they would want to try to make sure those people don't get money.
This is why I married her, because she doesn't have an evil. Stephanie does not have an evil bone in her body. There is nothing Machiavellian about Steffi. She is the perfect, sweet, innocent, kind, loving, good-hearted trad wife that any man would want. Sweetheart, the reason why somebody would donate to both candidates is because no matter who wins, they owe that person.
Oh, it's the strings attached.
You're playing both sides against each other, and then guess who comes out on top?
Oh, wow. You do.
Yes,
You
do.
always do.
Yes, qui bono, mi bono.
Oh, yeah, that was the farthest thing from my mind.
I know, because you're so sweet and kind and gentle, and that's why I love you dearly very much.
I was like, if you want someone to win,
If you're just
why don't you just prop up the person you want to win?
It's called hedging your bet, says Luke Sacker says. This is the conversation why we're here, says Levin 214. Exactly.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, the corruption behind this. And that's why it's like we American people, well, us layman people, I'll call myself a layman's person, we just don't understand the complexities of campaigns and how politics works.
Yes, most people the average person has no clue.
That's why, like, people like my mom yesterday, she called me, she's like, did you hear? Trump is guilty. My mom's a Democrat, loves Biden.
Of course.
But she just runs with it. She doesn't even care what he's guilty for, anything about it. All she hears is he's a felon. He's bad.
Mhm.
And so that's what the Democrats are going to just keep talking about. And my sister, too, she's like, why would I want Trump to be the example for my children? How is that okay? Because he's a bad person. So that's what these Democrats are saying. Yeah,
Donald Trump has raised a lot of money online. As a matter of fact, and I can't read this tweet, but I can pull it up. This is Andrew Tate. He donated $200K to his N-word Trump.
Oh boy. They're gangsters.
Now, it doesn't show the community note on there, but our friend TRHL, the redheaded libertarian, Josie, she had a picture of it. Maybe it was fake. Let me see. TRHL, the redheaded libertarian.
I would believe if it were fake, if it were like some sort of satire thing.
Hold on one second.
In terms of the comment, at least.
Maybe it was there, but it looks like the community note got removed because it says here, donating $200K to my N-word Trump. And then the notes suggesting context is that they had to show that Donald Trump is a white man. So,
well, if somebody said that about me, they couldn't say I'm a white man because I'm Jewish.
That's right.
So see, in the comments, they would have to delete that. Be like, sorry, that's an error. She's Jewish.
Yeah, the Nazi, the German Nazis would have hated you because not only are you a Jew, but you're a Russian Jew, which is like, ultimate, Bolsheviks and Mensheviks and all that kind of stuff. No offense, but
it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
I think Americans love drama just as much as I do. And this really gives me McAfee vibes, John McAfee vibes. Yes. Trump is going to be reporting live from jail. Maybe he'll go on the run on some sort of a yacht. It would be beautiful.
That would be hilarious. I saw this. I played this clip yesterday, but it was too funny not to share. Take a listen.
And I don't give a damn who this offends.
Some bad words in this, FYI.
But if that nigga Trump get convicted of this crime and he can still run for president, I'm voting for his ass. I'm voting for that nigga. I'm voting for him. If that nigga gets convicted and he can still run for president just to see what the fuck he do, because that nigga funny now, Trump is funny as hell, I'm voting for him. I'm telling you right now, okay? So just miss me with it.
Yeah, it's gonna get all the rebels to like him.
Yeah.
A libertarian naturally would probably be like, we hate the police. This is kind of cool.
Think about all the young people who are just gonna be like, I just want to see what happens. Just like this guy, right? They just want to see what happens if they vote for a convicted felon. And here's the thing. There is precedent for people who have been convicted to run for office. Eugene Debs, he was a socialist candidate during World War I. He was actually put in jail because of his anti-war protests, because Woodrow Wilson was a tyrant, and he silenced political dissent. They had it wasn't the Alien and Sedition Acts. It may have been the Alien and Sedition Acts. I'm forgetting the name of the bill, but they passed maybe the Alien and Sedition Acts. That might have been the one under John Adams.
Sounds familiar.
But there was it may have been John Adams was the Alien and Sedition Acts.
They don't let you criticize.
You couldn't criticize the president. That was John Adams. But here's the thing: they actually
John Adams. What's up with that?
There was a man, I believe in Pennsylvania during John Adams' presidency, who was in jail, who ran for office. I think he ran for Senate while he was in jail, and he won and served his time as a legislator from jail.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Quest Fanning is saying Alien Sedition was Adams. Remind me, what was the law that was passed during Woodrow Wilson's presidency to prevent anti-war protests? It was the Alien Sedition Acts was under Adams, but there was another law I can't remember during Woodrow Wilson, because Eugene Debs was the socialist candidate for president, and he had to run from jail as well. Now, here's the thing. When you're a convicted felon, what happens to your rights?
You can't vote.
You can't vote.
I was reading about that. It's a little conflicting. It's a state's thing. So I think the state will decide if he can vote or not.
Right. So
he might be able to.
Probably not, because he's registered in Florida, and that's a conservative state.
Right.
And the conservatives are going to be like, "Oh no, you absolutely can't vote if you've had a felony." Never written.
So that means he can't vote even for like bills that would pass, or does that just mean voting at the polls?
Well, he doesn't vote for bills anyway. He signs legislation. So Luke Sacker finally got me that. He said the Espionage Act. Thank you. Yes.
You all are so smart,
dude. Well, the average IQ of a Wake Up America show regular listener is like 20, 30 points above.
They watched their Magic School Bus show back in the day.
Tony Martinez says sentencing has to happen first because you can appeal upon conviction. He was only found guilty. There will be pre-sentencing motions to throw out the guilty verdict first. Look at that, a lawyer. Thank you, Tony.
Oh, yeah, a lawyer would definitely know. Yeah, I mean, I was telling my mom yesterday, I'm like, come on, don't put the cart before the horse here. He's not in jail yet. So much can happen.
He also, remember when he went and bought that gun last year? There was that big story about him going in and buying the Donald Trump gun. I think that
no, I don't remember this.
So now he can't own a firearm as well.
Well, yeah, when you're a felon, you can.
Yeah, see, and this is the thing. This is why when conservatives get angry at libertarians for saying things like, felons' voting rights should be restored after they serve their period, or you shouldn't take the guns away from the felons. You know, they should have their rights restored. And conservatives are like, no, we need law and order. And I'm like, bro, you will be the felon. You will be the one that the government puts in jail. They're like, who's gonna take your guns? Who do you think's gonna come take it?
The blue, take it blue, Poochie.
Right, they're all like, not in my backyard, but then it happens in their backyard, and then they're like, oh.
Don't tread on my right to use the government to force people to do what I want and use it against my enemies. The government will never come after me. The government won't, all the laws that I support will never be used against me, Poochie.
Oh, yeah, and Trump likes gambling, too. How do the conservatives feel about that one? We saw how the Missouri conservatives feel about that one. I know,
dude, it's so funny, so funny. Yeah. I mean, if Donald Trump had been there that day and said, I would like to I'm talking about when I went to the GOP delegation, and they're all like, we have to get rid of gambling. It brings prostitutes and licentiousness, right? And it's like,
yeah, they were like, I was abused as a child because my dad used to gamble.
It's like, gambling's such a dirty business, blah blah blah. And it's like, dude, what's your MAGA hat? Where did his money come from? Part of right? If Donald Trump had showed up, that'd be like, I'd like to open a big, beautiful casino at the Lake of the Ozarks. They would have all been like, yes, Trump.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, this is just, I love this.
I mean, I'm a libertarian for Trump, but I'm a libertarian for Trump. And so are many other people.
Libertarians for Trump.
Libertarians for Trump.
This is a new thing, everybody. This is trending. Everybody's been buying our Libertarians for Trump merchandise.
Did you see that Maine Senator Eric Brakey came out yesterday and endorsed and said that he's going to vote for Donald Trump?
No way. And he's from the Freedom Project, isn't he? He goes to PorcFest.
The Free State Project of New Hampshire. Yeah, our Libertarians for Trump flags have been flying off the shelves. Our Libertarians for Trump 2024 Gadsden tees flying off the shelf. We haven't sold any high tops or sneakers yet, but they are there. I think maybe people just don't know they're out there.
Maybe when the door knocking season comes, they're going to need those.
For sure. But Libertarians for Trump, my favorite is the black flag. I like the black one the best.
Oh, it's very sexy.
Yes. And it's got, it's called Libertarians for Trump Black Flag Gadsden Snake with Trump hair, which is pretty classic. Yeah.
Yeah. What's to me is that all these libertarians now are like, I'm not voting Chase Oliver. And they're all coming out in unison about that. So I'm like, so then who are you voting for? It takes real bravery to say who you're really voting for.
Well, and that's kind of the big question here, right? Because it's like, I saw yesterday that Dave Smith announced that he's stepping back from the LP. I don't know if that means...
Dave Smith is stepping back from the LP?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. It's big news. It's big news.
So what does that mean? He's gonna
take a step back. Yeah.
Like, where is he going?
So here's the thing, right? So like Dave Smith spent these years like criticizing Trump as a warmonger. He basically like put her on the same level as Nikki Haley. Right.
War is number one.
War is the most important thing.
Protect Hamas.
He has been lecturing us now for months about how war is the most important thing.
Priorities, everyone.
Right. But what's amazing is that Chase Oliver agrees with Dave. War is the most important thing. Chase Oliver also agrees with Dave that the war in Gaza is an Israeli genocide. Oh,
correct.
But he's not supporting
because he wants to trans the kids. That's the single issue that is making people upset.
Stephanie, that would imply that war is not the most important thing.
That's correct.
But he shit all over everyone who disagreed with him that war was the most important thing. Don't you want to stop the Israeli genocide?
Well, he does.
Yes. Well, then there you go. You've got your candidate, Chase Oliver.
Smith has been flip-flopping quite a bit because before Trump spoke, he was like, everyone be quiet, be respectful. You know, this is great. He's talking to us. And then after Trump spoke, he's like, F Trump. It's like, what?
He had the opportunity. First of all, he said, Dave Smith said that he believes, Dave Smith actually should be applauding this because he's going to prison. He said he should be in prison for other crimes.
I don't know what other crimes he's committed.
Well, his war crimes. Donald Trump is a war criminal.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Because war is the
most important thing.
Stay consistent.
Stay consistent. But he thinks that these charges are bullshit, but not.
Okay.
But not if he had been tried on war crimes, then Dave would have been like, yeah, that's why he should be in jail forever. So I guess it's interesting because if Dave does come out and support Donald Trump, he's going to be supporting a Zionist warmonger who supports the Israeli genocide in Gaza, which would imply that war was not the most important thing.
I think people just have their priorities all kinds of messed up. It's like, I know transing the kids and everything is really important, but it's like, is that really what America should be focused on right now?
Yes, it should.
Shouldn't we be focused on the economy, taxes, war?
Well, you can walk and chew gum at the same time.
Is it really the job of the federal government to even talk about transing kids? Isn't that more states' rights?
Yeah, to an extent, right?
Why?
Here's the thing, because it's Title IX. Title IX of the federal code, which is like equality in sports for women on college campuses. That's a federal law.
Oh, I got
right. So women's sports don't make enough money to like provide facilities for them. So what they do is they sponge off of the male sports and the money that's generated from going and watching men's basketball and men's football. So they steal the money from the male sports and they give it to fund stadiums for people to not go watch women play sports. Okay. But now men who say they're women are going into the women's sports and demanding the same access to things like scholarships for women. Right. So
they're getting the money.
So yes, transing the kids is the most important thing. Am I right?
But as a libertarian, I'd be like, get rid of public funding for colleges. Right. It's a simple answer there.
Yes, Stephanie.
But it's not going to happen.
It would be nice.
Just like the Fed is not going to be ended. It's not going to happen.
No, we have to look at what we can actually accomplish in order to move the ball down the line. We can't support the Groomer. We can't support the Coomer. We're going to support the Felon. We're Libertarians for Trump.
Oh, Trump's speech, it really gave me hope. And I know he was just feeding me what I wanted to hear. He was using all of those powerful words, Marxist, fascist, World War III.
Oh, you talk about Trump's speech.
Oh, absolutely. Because I too felt very conflicted about voting for Trump. Even during the primaries, I was like, I feel bad. I feel dirty. And I've always voted Libertarian, but I've finally come to a place where I realize Libertarians are not going to get more than 3% of the vote. Trump was right.
Right.
We have to be real about it. Do you want to keep losing, or do you want to actually compromise and win something rather than win nothing? So I say I'm ready to win more and compromise more and not have all that I want, but have some of what I want.
Well, here's the thing. You're gonna compromise no matter who you're gonna vote for in this election.
Even the Libertarians.
That's right.
I mean,
if you're voting for
look at Chase.
right, so if you have to compromise, right, why compromise and lose?
Right.
Why compromise your principles and do nothing and get nothing?
I know people were bashing me. They were like, "Why are you voting for the lesser of the evils?"
Yeah,
blah blah
stupid.
blah. And then all these people are going to vote for Noda.
Mhm.
What is that going to do?
I don't
How
know.
is that going to help?
Well, listen.
It's throwing your vote away, essentially.
The Libertarians for Trump are gathering forces, marshaling our behavior, marshaling our people, and there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that I can't talk about right now. But I will tell you that the more and more the people that are getting behind Donald Trump that are self-identified as libertarians are building a coalition that will hold Trump accountable and will work to try and keep him to keep his promises that he made to us.
Because they'll dangle money in front of his face.
Well,
is that what they're going to use?
Well, we'll see. Well, here's the thing.
Like that other example you were talking about.
We are a keen, irate minority, and we want to set brush fires in the minds of men. Yeah. There is leverage that the libertarians have, like Tony Martinez was talking about in his interview with me the other day. If we have this leverage, we should use it. We have the leverage. We should use it. We're going to take a quick little break. Got to go pee for liberty, Stephanie. We'll be right back. She is an expectant mother, so we'll be right back. After the break, we're going to talk about that. What's the best time to drink coffee?
Never. I don't drink caffeine.
When we get back on the Wake Up America Show at wakeupAmericaShow.com. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
The Cantina Crew. This is Elon Musk, the CEO of Twitter. And I just want to say thank you for watching the Wake Up America Show. I've decided that Austin Peterson will be the new CEO of Twitter.com, effective immediately. First thing to do, though, is I've got to go and blast off into space.
If there wasn't going to be somebody who was a fiery champion of liberty, somebody who would get out there and who would be aggressive, and if they wouldn't do it with more fire or passion than I had, then I would go and I would fight this battle for us. I've fought for the principles that we all share. Parties tend to be secondary to me. We're here because we believe in the principles of liberty. I am not a perfect messenger, but I think I'm a damn good one. This is a replica of our first president's flintlock pistol. You have my full support, my respect, and my gun.
I think that at the heart of my philosophy is much more libertarianism than well, that's the fashionable word these days, I guess. A conservative is no longer just that. He's a libertarian and always has been.
Yet any time you and I question the schemes of the do-gooders, we're denounced as being against their humanitarian goals. They say we're always against things, we're never for anything.
What is fascism? Fascism is private ownership, private enterprise, but total government control and regulation.
Well, the trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. This issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves.
The conservative, so-called, is the one that says less government. Get off my back, get out of my pocket, and let me have more control of my own destiny.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? You can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
It's me, you, anyone that wants to be. There is no typical firefighter.
Do you hate the deep state? Do you reject the Antichrist in all his ways? Do you believe that aliens controlled LBJ to assassinate John F. Kennedy? Did you know that the shot can put chemicals in you that will make you more sensitive to 5G? Do you love America? Do you want more freedom? Do you like smoking hot red-headed libertarians? Then the AP for Liberty shop is for you! Check out all the awesome new merch and have a happy new year! Fight the deep state, reject the Antichrist! Visit AP for Liberty shop and get your patriotic merchandise now, or the deep state wins!
I think he will end up freeing Ross, and he's made the announcement that he's considering pardoning Assange. I think he's going to do these things anyway, because he's had a lot of people like Vivek Ramaswamy in his ear talking about these things anyway. As far as like cabinet level positions, I think it might take a little more, movement on the side of maybe former candidates from the Libertarian Party that were seeking the nomination. And like you said, he kind of made that pitch at the end. I mean, he probably was speaking off the cuff. He didn't file the paperwork to actually become like the nominee. Plus, he is already the nominee of another party, so I'm not quite sure how that would work anyway. But I think maybe some endorsements from different party members might be a step in the right direction, and then maybe some meetings on who he would consider in his next administration and cabinet level positions. He said yesterday, or it aired yesterday on Tim's show, that he's considering as high up as the Attorney General's office to have an Attorney General that's a libertarian. So that would be like actually huge. So I think those are some of the things. But like I said, I think he's going to consider doing a lot of these things anyway. Like he's already committed to no central bank digital currency and WHO treaty and all of those types of things. So I think right now it's on the table for libertarians to basically vote for someone who's going to deliver and give them these things instead of, like he said, getting the 3% that they're used to max and then getting nothing in return. What is Joe Biden promising them? Absolutely nothing. He didn't show up. He didn't speak to them, and he's done no outreach to libertarians. And as far as Chase Oliver, he's, everyone's digging up all of these old posts on X, whereas he's like cheering on the censorship of Donald Trump, who, he was banned at the behest of all of these government agencies back at Twitter 1.0 when they were colluding to censor him. So I wouldn't call that very libertarian to be, pro censorship of a former president at the behest of the FBI and all of these agencies.
That was Alex LaRusso. Good morning, Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com. Freedom Family Friday means that I bring in my smoking hot, red-headed, libertarian, pregnant wife, Stephanie Peterson.
So many adjectives.
Everybody. Yes, and go ahead, Steph. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, my priorities are just on a completely different wavelength than everybody else. But I really don't understand the importance of this whole free Ross thing. Is that really a country's priority? I saw all the free Ross signs at the Libertarian convention, and they were blocking Trump's head, and I was just like, really? Is this all we care about?
It is an injustice that's going on. I think
Yes.
that the Julian Assange and Edward Snowden cases are much more important.
Oh, and I know those very much. Yes. I mean, those have been going on for years.
Decades, yes.
But again, it's like, I think that doesn't really affect my life. Maybe I'm being selfish. It could affect my life. Sure, maybe I could be thrown in prison at some point.
It's a long story. We can talk
Right.
about it in just a moment, but real quick, let's finish setting things up. Welcome, by the way, to your ginger sister from another mister, Courtney Conover, joining
Oh,
us
I thought you
live.
were saying my sister's in the chat. I was
No.
like, what is she doing?
No.
Oh, you made me nervous for a second.
No, the
Oh.
ginger sister from another mister implies a different dad.
Well, we are from the Milkman, so, you know,
No,
different misters.
you're not from the milkman. Please.
Yeah, there's a fly.
Okay, stop. This is why I bring my wife on here, because she's comedy relief and she doesn't know why. My brother Justin, he's comedy relief and he knows why. Justin Peterson, my brother, will be joining us here from Boston in about 15 minutes.
You just gotta laugh at the absurdity of all this.
Yes. So if you're tuning in live this morning, do us a favor, click that like button and follow the channel. We'll be glad to have you join us regularly. Monday through Friday is the regular show schedule, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. You can text the show at 573-319-1586. $5 says we've got text messages to say your mic isn't turned on. And let's see how many. 1 mic is not turned on text. 2 mic is not turned on text. 3 mics are not turned on text.
They can't hear
4
me?
No, that was earlier. 5 text messages, the mic is not on. And then someone else telling me that I need to check my Instagram. So, and another person from, this was an interesting text that we got yesterday, actually, from Cornerstone Inspections, LLC. When I was talking yesterday, when we first started the Wake Up America show 2 years ago, we had like 20 or 30 people watching the show live in the mornings, right? He says, I hate to break your heart, but it was actually less than that because I would listen on my phone, but I would also leave your show playing on my work phone in my truck. So, and then I told my guys that were on construction crew to put your show on before they put their phones in their cars. He says he really enjoyed listening to us when I was on KWOS while we were working. He says, so when you left and did your own thing, I was like, there's no way in hell we can let him fail. Everybody log on for the algorithm. Well, thanks, man.
How I would never think to do that, to like leave somebody on in my car just to help their viewership.
Yes.
Wow, that is dedication.
Well,
Thank you
yeah,
for-
because then you've
for
got it.
doing that.
You've got it on different. You've got it on different feeds. Cecilia H. She just made a Rumble Rant donation.
It's nice to us.
Yeah, and we have a new because of Rumble Studio, we now have the comments up on from the chat popping up on the screen. So you can actually see them. And when Cecilia, when she made a Rumble Rant donation, it also pops up on the screen now.
so
we can see that.
helpful.
So yeah, so thank you to Rumble Studio. We appreciate you.
It's been going great so far.
Yeah, it's been growing great so far. So we've got about 242 people watching us live on Rumble and 443 people watching us live over on X. It's a nice audience.
Okay.
Good morning.
I can handle that.
You absolutely can. And Rumble Studio has been fantastic. I just implemented it this week. It's saving us a lot of money.
Making it smart too.
Yes, and making us money too, because they have these new live reads that we can do during the show. Now, some people might scratch their head when I do my next live read, but it will make sense in just a moment when I read you this incredible new technology from Rumble Studio and say it's time to say goodbye to Starbucks and say hello to Rumble's 1775 coffee. Unlike other brands, this is a coffee that backs free speech and is unapologetic about it. Visit 1775 Coffee. Use the promo code STUDIO to get 15% off. The coffee comes in medium and dark roasts. It also comes in pea berry, which is similar to Kona coffee. In other words, the stuff is premium. Click the link in the live chat or in the description. You can also go directly to 1775coffee.com and use the promo code STUDIO to get 15% off today. That is 1775coffee.com. and use the promo code STUDIO to get 15% off today. There we go. So,
Mind a little competition.
I don't mind a little competition.
Compare our coffee to whoever's you want.
That's right. It's an amazing little tool that that they've included in Rumble Studio. The live reads just included right in there. So,
It's Peaberry, not gonna lie.
yeah, I kind of am too. Yeah, Levin 214 texted it, says, "Why are you cheating on Founding Flavors?"
Polyamorous relationship with Founding Flavors. Okay, Founding Flavors is fine with us doing whatever we want because it knows it is the number one coffee. Nothing else.
But I encourage you to buy 1775 coffee, try it, and compare. Use their coupon code Studio and see how you like it. There you go.
Just have both.
Exactly.
The more coffee, the merrier,
Right.
right?
Just don't be surprised that Stephanie and I like money, and we've got a baby on the way, and we're going to do live reads for things that might compete with us, and that's okay. Is that okay? Is that okay with you?
We're so not principled. I can see why libertarians hate us.
We're capitalists.
That's right.
We like money. Thank you for subscribing. The Last Nutmeg over on YouTube. They even give us those updates of what's happening on YouTube. Rumble Studio is pretty incredible. Rise and grind. Researchers reveal the best time to drink coffee. Better latte than never. Now you got that one. Marilyn.
Jokes.
Yes, Marilyn Cornelis. She's a caffeine researcher at Northwest University's Feinberg School of Medicine. Told the New York Times last week, everyone responds to caffeine differently. She says. Caffeine can make it more difficult to fall asleep and stay asleep because it competes with adenosine. This is a naturally occurring chemical in the body that promotes drowsiness. Michael Grandner, he's the director of the Sleep and Research Program at the University of Arizona, said it takes about 20 to 30 minutes to feel the effects of caffeine after it's absorbed into your bloodstream. Genetics play a role in how long caffeine keeps you alert. Some only need one Java to last them the day. Others are jonesing just hours later. So typically, Grandner says he waits 30 to 60 minutes after waking up to savor his first cup. So the idea is that since adenosine builds up throughout the day, downing coffee first thing in the morning would give you less bang for your buck because that's when your adenosine levels are at their lowest. Dr. Deborah Lee, she's a sleep expert for the UK furniture maker Get Laid Beds.
What? That sounds great.
She also proposes that you prepare your first cup 45 minutes or later after rising. She says that the cortisol hormone follows a rhythm specific to your own sleeping cycle. Elevated levels of cortisol may impact your immune system, and if they're already at its peak when waking up, drinking coffee as soon as your eyes open may do more harm than good, may actually make you more immune to caffeine over a long period of time. So that's what they're saying. Yeah.
I'm just so different from everyone else. I'm on another wavelength. I don't drink coffee because it makes me very on edge and jittery. I'm an anxious person by default, so I can't handle it. But I also wonder, why can't we just wake up naturally? Why do we need a drug to help us wake up and become dependent on that drug?
Well, first of all, it's a delicious drug.
I like decaf. Decaf is cool. I think
secondly,
it's tasty.
I love drugs. I mean, I'm a big fan of drugs. I think that drugs are useful, powerful. I like the old 1950s commercial, better living through chemistry, right? I think.
Wasn't our body naturally made to wake up and go to sleep? Why not embrace our natural tendencies?
I will say this, though, that as much as I love drugs, I would never take drugs right before I had a huge press conference while running for president of the United States, if you know what I'm saying.
We know a guy.
Matt Unruh, he just dropped $5 in the tip jar. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. We hope you're doing well with your little baby.
Did you see your little notification up there at the top of the screen, Matt? Pretty cool, huh? He says that he's been trying to drink a bottle of water before drinking his coffee these days. Probably wise. Will Run Riot says, caffeine doesn't really affect me. I mostly drink coffee in the morning for flavor, she said. Urs Mommy says drugs are bad for you. Yeah, well, definitely if you're running for president of the United States, maybe don't do drugs right before you do. Did you see that video of Michael Rechtenwald with the gummy?
I did. I just want to say one thing, though. I think if if there was like prohibition on caffeine, if everybody was told like you cannot have coffee, it would be mass chaos because the withdrawals you feel from not having caffeine is really bad.
Uh-huh.
You can have bad headaches, you get super irritable, you're super tired. So it's like that's how you know this is a serious drug that we've just normalized in our society.
Which,
not gonna lie.
Well, caffeine?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and the Mormons don't use it.
Right. So I'm Mormon, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very Amish in my nature. I really admire the Amish people.
Yes, our little friend back behind the scenes who's helping coordinate all of our marketing texted this morning. He just said that we've got 100 responses to our presidential poll that we ran yesterday on our audience, and it was to see where people were at, and then we ran a poll after he was convicted. So before Trump was convicted, 79% of our audience was planning to vote for him.
Okay.
After he was convicted, it became 84%. So we had a 4.5% increase. I think that the Trump stuff is going to backfire. I think that the Trump stuff is going to backfire.
Everything is just backfiring in such a beautiful way.
Yeah.
I think all of the bullies of the Libertarian Party, they're starting to see their day.
Yeah, the karma definitely came around for them, didn't it?
Yes, and I'm loving it because the good people rise up and they get the good karma.
One listener texted in this morning at 573-319-1586, says, I can drink all the caffeine in the world and still feel nothing. I think it actually makes me tired, someone says.
There's people like that. Some people where like their receptors in their brain don't respond to even like alcohol.
Yes.
That's so bizarre. But yeah, it happens.
Gives them the opposite effect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Joni Rankin says, the Mormons can't dance either. I thought that was the Baptists.
Well, if I can't dance, then I certainly do not want to be Mormon.
I can't dance. I can't move. Only thing about me is the way that I walk. All right. My brother, Justin Peterson, is joining us live in 5. You don't want to miss it. Okay.
Yes.
We have a lot to talk about. Apparently, the mayor of Boston, where Justin's going to live stream to us from, the mayor of Boston has created a new list of items of crimes that are not going to be prosecuted.
Cool.
Not cool, Stephanie. Not.
I mean, the less police intervention, the better sometimes.
Not in this scenario. I don't think you're going to like this when I read the list to you when we get back. We're going to get Justin's take on the trial, on the Donald Trump trial. We're going to hear his take on that, as well as that video that I played yesterday of all of those useless degrees that the college majors are. We're going to play that clip, and we're going to have Justin talk about it. All of this and more when we get back. Don't go away. It's the Wake Up America show. Come with us if you want to live. We'll be right back on the Wake Up America show at wakeupamericashow.com.
Expanse of time, a year might seem like a mere moment, but oh, what a year it's been. In September 2022, Austin and Stephanie Peterson embarked on a journey to wake up America. They began humbly, with just 20 souls tuning in, learning, listening, and though challenges arose, like the looming shadow of YouTube demonetization, their spirit never waned. And now, thanks to you, thousands rise with the sun to join them, to listen, to engage, to be a part of a community. So here's to you, and to Wake Up America, for memories shared, for friends made, for the journey ahead, and for never, ever forgetting to rise and freedom. Happy anniversary.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message. Believe me, Austin Peterson is the best. He's got the greatest Wake Up America show I've ever seen. Whenever I tune in the mornings and watch the live stream, let me tell you, he has got the absolute best content. I love his guests. It's just a total blast to watch, and I highly endorse and recommend the Wake Up America show. It's terrific, believe me.
Is the outdoor your home about as exciting as a library? Then spice it up and unbore your space with our custom metal signs. Crafted with love and a bit of libertarian magic, you can customize your own metal sign at ap4libertyshop.com. So head to ap4libertyshop.com, customize your own metal sign today.
Welcome to a world of vocal discovery at Peterson Voice Studio. I'm Justin Peterson, here to guide your musical journey. Envision a place where your voice reaches new heights, where every note tells a story. We embrace all singers, from the enthusiastic shower vocalists to aspiring stars, ensuring each voice finds its unique rhythm and tone. Are you ready to elevate your voice? Visit petersonvoicestudio.com and sign up for remote lessons tailored just for you. Let's begin this melodious journey together.
Tired of spending your hard-earned money on woke corporations that don't share your pro-freedom values? Fed up with sipping liberal lattes and progressive cappuccinos? Introducing Founding Flavors from AP for Liberty Shop. Get your day started with Washington's Revolutionary Roast. As robust and principled as the man himself, this blend is the shot of energy heard round the world. Or maybe you want to taste the fervor of freedom with Adams's Patriotic Perk. It's as dynamic and balanced as the U.S. Constitution, sure to awaken your spirit of liberty. For the aficionados, we've got the Jeffersonian Java, a complex mix of flavors that speaks volumes about your refined tastes. And don't forget Betsy's Liberty Lullaby, our decaf option, crafted with the same care and dedication Betsy Ross put into our Star-Spangled Banner. This blend lets you enjoy the taste of freedom anytime without losing sleep. No woke beans here, folks. Just pure, patriotic, pro-freedom flavors brewed with love for liberty. So why compromise your principles for a cup of coffee? Stand up for your values, perk up your patriotism, and start your day the American way. Get your Founding Flavors at apforlibertyshop.com. Welcome back to the Wake Up America show. I'm your host, Austin Peterson. Glad and thankful to have you here. Have you clicked that like button yet? What's wrong with you? What are you, some kind of Libertarian Party voter or something like that? Boo this man. Boo this man.
Enough booze at the convention.
That's right. The Wake Up America show on Freedom Family Friday brings on my lovely, smoking hot, redheaded Libertarian wife, Stephanie. Oh, wrong button. I hit the boo button. I meant to hit the applause. I won't make that same mistake with my next guest, my brother, Justin Peterson, joining us live right now. He's here. He's queer.
Really?
No, I'm not.
Not the third part.
But he's not coming for your children.
I am barely one of those things.
Justin, how you doing, brother?
Good morning. I'm sitting here with my coffee, getting caffeinated.
Yes, you're tamping down that adenosine in your brain there. That's what it is.
I'm tamping down something this morning. Lord have mercy.
Justin, we got a lot to talk about. Obviously, the mayor of the city that you live in has created a list of things that they're not going to prosecute as crimes anymore. We're going to get to that in just a couple of minutes. But I wanted you to respond to what's happened in the last week with the Libertarian Party. The national convention happened last weekend. They nominated this Chase Oliver character. I'm sure you probably saw my interview with him that went viral, where I asked him, where he compared drag queen story hours for children to watching The Wiggles. What's your take on that, Justin?
I just felt like he was being so dishonest, and I think even when he got nominated, the day he got nominated, I think I texted you privately and I said, "What in the gay communist hell is this?" I was just like, "What in the hell are they thinking over there?" Yeah, no, I saw that and I was just like, just his argument was so dishonest. And the fact that he just hemmed and hawed about his answers, he couldn't give you a good answer, right? Like he just couldn't say, would you drop your kids off at a drag queen story hour? No, would you drop them off?
Eventually he said, it's like, would you drop them off in a movie? Yeah.
At the movies. Yes. It's incredible. It's just totally incredible to me. I'm like, talk about false equivalency, I mean, in the history of false equivalency, that's pretty high up on the chart there. Because drag queens have never been for children, okay? Like, I went to the Garden in Des Moines, Iowa in the 90s, which was like it was a great bar. Love it. They've since moved. But that's where I saw drag for the first time. And guess what? There were no children around. It was kind of wild that we didn't let the kids around the drag queens, and it would have been at that time considered to be really out of sync to have kids in the bar with the drag queens.
Yeah.
And we knew that because it's a send up of gender and it's performative. It's and it is funny because there are some funny drag queens, but they're playing to sexual stereotypes.
It's a fetish. A man
For
who
some people it is, yes.
Yeah, but I mean, it's inherently sexual. I told Steffi went to an event once.
Yeah, I mean, I've
at a
been
coffee.
to drag queen bingo with my family.
Yeah, she's been to one.
It was very tasteful. Nothing bad went down. So that's why I have a different view of it in my head because I've never been to these risque drag queen shows.
I'm not a member of the religious right of the Republican Party. I'm a member of the sex, drugs, and rock and roll wing of the Republican Party. So I've been to a couple dozen drag shows in my life. And there's always, and if your kids are listening to the show right now this morning, it's time to turn down the volume or put on a headset.
Right.
But there were always dicks getting whipped out. There were always sex toys that were getting whipped out. There was always something sexual. There were always something sexual that was included in the acts.
I am missing out on the parties you went to.
Well, you didn't live in Washington, D.C., where... Yeah, I don't know
where all the politicians went.
That's where Republicans go to the drag shows in Washington D.C. and have their
that's something we probably need to discuss at some point. Why are they going to the drag shows?
Don't do that. Don't do that. You'll end up like that Madison Cawthorn guy in the wheelchair who got kicked out of Congress because he revealed the Republican cocaine orgies that go on. And
oh well, yeah, and then they got him because he was humping a dude on a bed naked. Wasn't that the whole thing?
What happens in Washington stays in Washington.
For Republicans, that's just a Tuesday in D.C. So.
That's a Tuesday.
Anyway, so what was your take, though, on the big news, Justin? Donald Trump convicted on 34 felony counts. Your take on that?
I'd love to say that I'm shocked about things anymore in this new America that we live in. But, here's what I think. Here's my take. Oh, hot takes coming. I think it's amazing for me to straddle two worlds, right? Because I have so many friends that are on the right and I have so many friends that are on the left. And you can literally see the schism in thinking in this world that I inhabit, this sort of liminal space that I'm operating in. Because certain people who are very pro-Trump, it's clear that anti-Trump, excuse me, they're getting their information from very few sources. Right. It's like the programming. You can just see the programming in real time on how people are supposed to react to this.
It's mostly NPR. That's where they get their information.
Yeah, based on the information where these people are getting their info. And it's like if you've got only one source that you're listening to for your news, if you've only got two or three, you're not listening to enough news. You're not getting enough voices to hear what people are saying. And it's been a fascinating experience to live where I see people literally, the programming is just operating. Like the brain computer programming is just operating as intended. And it's like, and I see it as an American, I see it as something that's very concerning beyond party. And the thing that I see is that the Democrats put party over country. And that is going to come back, and they've made Trump a martyr. I mean, that's what RFK was saying, but it's true. They made him a martyr, and it's going to come back, and it's going to bite them in the butt. Because if we're putting people in jail for political picadillos, George W. Bush has entered the chat. Obama has entered the chat. Hillary Clinton has entered the chat. Is this just how we're going to do statesmanship now? We're just going to throw each other in jail from now on? It's really not good.
I think is that they think they can't beat him. I think they're terrified. The Democrats I'm reading right now behind the scenes are freaking out. Their words, not my Politico, reported that this week, that like major high-level people in the administration are freaking out about the chances that they're being squandered right now because of the unpopularity of Joe Biden. And from what I'm seeing last night, and we ran an informal poll on our people yesterday, and his support increased before the poll that we ran before, and then the poll that we ran after. Trump's support actually increased. But I've heard this reported in the Washington Post. They have interviewed African Americans around the country, and many blacks have come out and said they think that the way that the criminal justice system is being weaponized against him reflects how it's been weaponized against them. They identify with Trump.
Yes. That's exactly what I have seen too on my social media circles, is that a lot of people in the black community are going, oh, and they're actually calling out the white people and saying, hey, now do you see that there's a two-tier justice system? Now do you see what we've been talking about? And that has fomented support for Donald Trump, I think, in certain cadres of the black community. So, yeah, I mean, my feed yesterday was all of these people saying, I'm a Democrat and I'm voting for Trump, and I'm an independent, and this pushed me over the edge. I mean, I'm seeing so many independent and formerly Democrat voters saying, this is the bridge too far. This is the red line. They've crossed the red line, and people are and I mean, what the website crashed yesterday.
The donation website. Yeah.
So. Yeah, I mean that was within an hour of the announcement of the verdict was the websites were crashing. So yesterday, for a short time, I saw that Donald Trump was more popular than boobs on the internet. I was like, for one shining moment, Donald Trump was greater.
Maybe in your house, but not in my house.
Fair.
With the fact that, Justin, we've had an incredible week here on the Wake Up America show. Rumble has been so kind to us, and X.com as well. This week, we actually crossed a milestone with 10,000 viewers live watching the Wake Up America show. It's a brand new era.
Wow.
And we talked about how a couple of years ago we used to have 20, 30 people who would watch us live, but it may have been smaller because some people use like 2 or 3 devices.
Wow.
So we've certainly come a long way, baby. And we want to say thank you to you, Justin, of course, because, you became a part of the roster about 6 months ago or so, and you've become a fan favorite of the show. People love the Freedom Family Friday. Stephanie's so adorable and cute and sweet. And can I say naive without it being rude? I had to explain to her earlier why somebody would fund 2 candidates at the same time, and she had no idea why someone would do something like that.
Just, channel my inner Kristen Wiig. That's who I'm going for.
Yeah.
More of a comedian type.
I also have to say, a pride of prominence that I've been watching your show since day one.
Thank you, Justin.
Since the first day I've been watching the show. So.
That's right.
It's really come a long way, hasn't it? I mean, it looks
it's
so
been
much
a
better.
fun thing to see.
Yeah, it's amazing because Megyn Kelly gave me a shout out the other day.
Please talk to me about this, because I scoured the internet yesterday after you said that yesterday morning, and I was like, because I really I'm down with Megyn, so I'm like, where is that clip?
It's like 1 hour, 20 minutes into one of her recent podcasts where she talked about it. I've got the clip. I might try and grab it.
You got to
and
send
play
that
it.
to me, because
okay, I'll send you that.
Every
clip,
time
yeah.
I'll watch Tim Cast and he'll say Austin Peterson, blah 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 blah, and I go, that's kind of a moment for me. I get really excited.
I know it's kind of amazing how I've
Tim Pool's been noticing you.
Yeah, Tim actually is the reason that we got the 10,000 viewers this week, because he posted the show when we were on live on like Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't remember, but we had 10,000 live viewers. So it's a whole brand new era for the Wake Up America show. Couldn't come at a better time financially because of baby Hazel coming very soon. Obviously, we're going to need
quarterly taxes due June 15th.
Yeah, so we obviously need the money, but which is very helpful. But we're also able to bring on. Now we have a part-time employee. We've brought on one part-time employee. We're actually maybe going to be able to take him full-time soon, which will really be good for us. We have a couple of big contracts that have come. One's come through, one's getting ready to come through, and then another massive new project that I'm working on behind the scenes. It's like a secret project that people are going to find out about soon. So many incredible things. Yeah, OnlyFans, exactly.
You got to make the dollars any way you can get them.
I'm going to be making an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
That's our secret.
Andy Opperman over in the chat says, same here, JP, day one supporter. Thanks, Andy.
Yeah.
Andy's been a huge supporter.
It's been fun to watch. It's actually been, I'll tell you what, it's been fun to be a part of this little community of people, because one of the things you have said from the beginning, and I really respond to because of my personality, is that you've wanted to build a cadre of people who are, like-minded, but fair and rational and reasonable and able to not be assholes to each other.
Well, we're not NPCs. That's one thing. We're willing to call a spade, even when it's on our own team. Right, to say that there's things that we disagree with. I'm intellectually honest enough to say I'm voting for Donald Trump despite my many disagreements with him, because I think I can see the bigger picture. And I'll say where I agree and say where I disagree. But that the most important thing about this community is that it's kind of like a mutual aid society. We all support one another. Camellia has made lifelong friends with
Oh my goodness.
Jamie Marie Pope, who they hang out now together in Louisiana. I mean, we're
Camellia has grown so much. I remember when I would come visit when you were on the radio, and she wouldn't feel comfortable enough to talk on the microphone. And now it's like, look at her. She has blossomed. She's such a wonderful speaker. It's just the growth of the people that you've helped is immense.
Yeah, and we're a mutual aid society. We're a support community, and we have disagreements and we have arguments and we have fights, but we treat each other with respect. And I'm willing to. I've always said since the beginning, I'm willing to lose audience members. I'm willing to have a smaller audience if it's a more positive, supportive, mutual, relation. Treat people online in this show the way that you would treat someone that you actually meet in person. If you were to find somebody you disagree with.
Especially because we live in an age that is so demented and psychotic, because it's just true. We do.
Yes.
That the highest value to me is truth. That is my highest value. And if we can pursue what is true, we can actually get someplace. But when we lie to each other, when you live in a culture of lies, that is very, very bad for any society. So all I care about is truth. And if the truth is coming out of a Republican's mouth or a Democrat's mouth or a Libertarian's mouth or a black person's mouth or a white person's
Robert
mouth.
F. Kennedy Jr. says
Or Robert, it doesn't matter. Truth is truth, and that is what we should all be aiming for. And we used to have that in our society. We used to not aim for comfortable lies. We would go for what was really true.
And talking about RFK Jr., when you did a Spaces with some of the RFK Jr. supporters, they were so welcoming, kind, polite.
I get treated like dog poop by libertarians, treated suspiciously by Republicans, treated like a slime ball by Democrats. But the Robert F. Kennedy Jr. people were the most polite and professional and kind to me out of any political faction that has ever talked to me or treated me in any way. It was like, Mr. Peterson, we're glad you're here. Welcome. It blew me away because I'm so used to be treated like, hey, shithead, maybe you suck, blah, boo. So the Robert F. Kennedy Jr. people really surprised me. Andy Opperman just donated $10 in the Rumble chat. He says, thank you, Andy. He says, intellectual honesty has become the virtue I prize in others most and aspire to achieve in myself. Austin and Justin are shining examples of it. Well, thank you, Andy.
It's not easy because you have to be willing to, like you said, Austin, go against your tribe, which is oftentimes not, which we know from social media alone. We're living in an age of peer pressure and enforcement. Look at the past 5 years. Everything that was done through social pressure and shaming. And to be able to think for yourself, to be able to say, wait a minute, let me ask some questions, and then to have people say, no, you can't ask questions. I'm like, well, I already know you're my enemy. If you are already telling me that I can't think and I have to go along and be quiet and shut up, you are my enemy. So
Courtney Conover donated $5 this morning. Good morning, Courtney.
She's definitely a new viewer. I like her.
She's been kind of like a new friend hanging out with us on Twitter, too. She says that they truly are. The RFK people are kinder. She did some consulting for the North Carolina branch of the RFK We the People Party. They're great. That's cool, Courtney. Interesting.
It reminds me, too, a lot of what I'm seeing in the former atheist community, because the atheist community that started out in 2004 got taken over by the super leftist wokes. And now the people who sort of started that movement are like, whoa, and they're now finding that the Christians are nicer to them than their fellow atheists are. So they're finding more welcoming, audiences in the Christian community, which I'm like, strange bedfellows is all I have to say. Strange bed makes, life sometimes gives us strange bedfellows.
Now, the new Rumble Studio functionality has given me the opportunity to be able to track in real time the Rumble Rant donations for the show. So when we start back up next week with the bonus content, there was too much news this week for me to be able to produce the bonus content and keep up with everything.
Little break.
I had to take a little break, but next week we start back with our mini documentary series. So that'll be great. And now we'll be able to see how much we raised. So today I could actually see that Cecilia, Matt Unruh, Quest Fanning, Andy Opperman, and Courtney Conover have all donated to the show today. So thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you to Rumble Studio for hooking us up so we can know what's up and keep track of things. We're very grateful for that. Justin, I'd like to get back to the news here. When I see Boston stories, I'm always like, oh, this is perfect for Justin. Did you read this story? Boston's woke Democrat mayor claims criminals should not be prosecuted for these raft of shocking crimes. Progressive Mayor Michelle Wu wants to decriminalize shoplifting, larceny, and disorderly conduct. She also wants police funds reallocated towards other city priorities. Justin, your take.
Oh, that's what you were meaning.
Yeah.
I am furious. I am furious. This is an illegitimate government because if you are not going to protect the private property of your own constituency, you have no business being in governance, period. This is a I mean, listen to me. I sound like Rush Limbaugh. This is a communist. Communists don't believe in private property rights. They don't believe that you should have private property rights. So I would ask the mayor, who's going to pay the insurance on these small businesses that are getting shoplifted from? Who's going to cover their losses? Who's going to cover these businesses' losses, right? And I would just say to Michelle Wu, why do you hate small businesses so much? Why do you hate the people in your community that are trying to, have a living and live right by society's, rules? It makes me so angry. Because what are people supposed to do? You're just supposed, we're just supposed to sit around and watch people steal stuff and just be like, okay, well, we're not going to punish you.
That's what happens in San Francisco or Washington State?
Yeah.
I feel
And
like
now
we have rules
everything
like
in
that,
those
too.
stores, and here's what's hilarious to me. Now everything in those stores has been locked up, right? So now you can't get anything because everything's behind partitioned glass cases.
Yeah.
And then I see people online posting about it and like whining and bitching and moaning about it. And then like, oh, F capitalism. I'm like, capitalism didn't do that.
Right.
Communism did. Communism did that. When you decided that private property rights were, not to be enforced, and you didn't enforce the rules of your promise as elected officials, that's what communism did. So welcome to your dystopian nightmare, because you brought it on yourself.
These are violent crimes that she doesn't want to prosecute. Breaking and entering of property, wanton and malicious destruction of property.
Wow.
Yeah. She doesn't want to prosecute minors in possession.
I mean, that of drugs.
And alcohol.
Okay. I mean, the drug thing, it's like, that's
Also,
more
here's the
okay for
thing.
me.
Massachusetts has very restrictive gun laws, right? This state does not have the gun laws that other states have. So and I even think that if I remember correctly, like if someone breaks in your house in Massachusetts, it's your job as the homeowner to do everything you can to try to get out of the house. That's how they want to solve that
You have a
problem.
duty to retreat.
You have to leave because, you can't, again, property rights, Austin. This is an attack on property rights, that you don't own your own property. Your property is not your own.
And then if the bad person gets hurt in your house, then you're in
You
trouble
go to
for
jail.
that.
That's right. It's absolutely right. You can't
So
even carry a
weird.
taser. Like, I'd be like, okay, well, fine. Okay, you've got restrictive gun laws. Can I get a taser? Can I get bear spray? No. All of those things have been you can't defend yourself.
Really?
So, so now you have these businesses that can't defend. I'm like, you know what? Stay strapped, Boston.
Here's the list of crimes for charges to be declined from the Boston Mayor Michelle Wu. Trespassing, shoplifting, including offenses that are essentially shoplifting but charged as larceny under $250, disorderly conduct, disturbing the peace, receiving stolen property, driving offenses, breaking and entering, wanton or malicious destruction of property, threats, excluding domestic violence, because of course we have to protect her voting base.
Protect the women.
Right. Minor in possession of alcohol, drug possession with the intent to distribute, a standalone resisting arrest charge, a resisting arrest charge combined with only charges that fall under the list of charges to decline to prosecute. This is I sure as hell wouldn't want to live in a city like that, Justin. It sounds dangerous.
I'm very glad, though, that I don't live in the city proper, so I live in a suburb of Boston. But illegitimate is the word. Illegitimate, because this woman has if this is her view, and this is how she views her her constituents, she has no business in governance. No business in governance.
So do you know what this is called? There's a word for what the mayor is doing. It's called anarcho-tyranny. Have you ever heard of this, Justin?
I've in passing, yes.
So anarcho-tyranny is anarchy for your political constituents, for your voters, and tyranny for the people who don't support you.
Right.
So that means that if someone is a political constituent of yours and is a progressive, you do not enforce laws against them. If it's Donald Trump, you prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law. So it's anarchy for us, tyranny for you. That's anarcho-tyranny.
Well, I mean, that's Herbert Marcuse's repressive tolerance, you know. This is the thing. Anything that the right does has to be stopped. The flag that we've all been up in arms about this past week with the pine tree on it, the Appeal to Heaven flag.
We're selling those at apforlibertyshop.com.
Oh, bye.com. In the past week, there have been 22 edits on that page on Wikipedia as the leftists have gone in to rewrite what that flag is about. Before that time, there were maybe 6 hits on it. So
nobody knew what it was until
nobody knew what it was, and now but because the right did something, it was even flying in front of the San Francisco City Hall, wasn't it? Wasn't it flying in front?
And Black Lives Matter activists actually in 2020 flew the flag at the Chaz, or what was it? That Seattle thing where they set up that anarchist commune. They flew the Appeal to Heaven flag. Black Lives Matter did.
Yeah, but because someone on the right did it, it has to be suppressed. That is the world that we're living in. We're living in the world of repressive tolerance. Yeah.
If you want to tick off the left this summer, if you're going to be spending some time on the beach and you want to fly a flag, fly the American flag at the very top of the pole, put an Appeal to Heaven flag underneath that, and then underneath that get our Libertarians for Trump flags as well. Those are selling like crazy.
I should make those into beach towels.
A lot of people bought. Yeah, a lot of people bought our Appeal to Heaven flag these last weeks. Blutreich says that he's got his tracked. His is coming in today. Blutreich, do us a favor, take a picture of it, will you? And post a review over at apforlibertyshop.com. We really appreciate that. It helps us to grow our credibility because we're trying to grow our business into basically we want the AP for Liberty Shop to become a massive freedom bazaar where you can get anything patriotic or liberty related at apforlibertyshop.com.
Well, you can.
Yeah, you basically can. I mean, we've got bikinis. We've got
send me a bikini.
Yes, we'll send you a bikini, Justin.
That's the tough thing about getting successful is that people share our stuff, but they don't tag us in it. They don't say who made it, so nobody has any idea.
The content creation theft that I have seen is insane. I see people who will do like audio, like a video, and then a cartoonist will steal the audio and make a cartoon of the audio and then like put it out on social media without attributing it to the original creator.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much intellectual property stuff that's being just completely stolen. It's insane.
History began on July 4th, 1776. Everything before that was a mistake.
That's right.
Ron Swanson quote. Those are the Ron Swanson t-shirts and muscle shirts. Those are selling like crazy now because everybody's getting ready for the 4th of July. So today's the day. Head over to apforlibertyshop.com. That's AP, the number 4. Get yourself a Ron Swanson 4th of July shirt, Libertarians for Trump flag, and an Appeal to Heaven flag as well, okay?
Just added the other day a $2 bill Thomas Jefferson mug, and I'm going to be putting the $2 bill on other things as well.
Yes, somebody actually tweeted at us this morning, Stephanie. They have a product request for us.
Really?
Yeah, they want a shirt that says taxes are gay.
I think we can do that.
We'll do that.
But you have to write it. You have to write it GHEY. There you go.
Yes, there you go.
Love it.
Good idea. Thank you for that.
Thanks. We appreciate that. If you're just tuning into the Wake Up America show, good morning. I'm Austin Peterson. Aren't I cute?
You are cute.
Not as cute as my wifey, Steffi. Steffi Peterson.
He's got
joining
the
us
best
live.
skin. You've got better skin than I do.
I think I got that from my dad. Dad's got pretty good skin. So we're hoping that Hazel Rose gets our skin. My brother, Justin Peterson, he's that handsome fellow over there on the right-hand side of the screen. Say hi to Justin.
Hello.
It's me.
It's
Hi.
me. Yes.
I'm the problem. It's me.
It's me.
Everybody talks about Taylor Swift anymore. She's totally passe.
No kidding. Justin, you ought to go up to Pork Fest this summer in New Hampshire. You know, you're not too far away. You
In my world, that means something totally different. That's called Friday.
Well, I'm sure a lot of the Chase Oliver fans will be there.
Yeah, I got to ask this. I mean, since there are 1,000 people watching us over at rumble.com, it's becoming just so blasé these days. But I imagine that for many of you who are watching us today, you're saying to yourself, this is a fun show and you've never seen us before and you don't know who we are, but we're the Freedom family, the Peterson family. I'm Austin. This is my wife, Steffi. That's Justin. We call this Freedom Family Friday. It's Freaky Friday, if you will. We have a lot of fun. We goof off. We talk about stuff that, you know, makes people blush. And it's a lot of fun. The Monday through Thursday show schedule is a little bit more serious, but we still like to joke around and have a good time. So if you'd like to start your day the American way, then you need to click that follow button right now, or at least before you leave the show today. Don't forget, click the follow button over at rumble.com so you can come back and join us. The show schedule is Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Central. It's a tour de force of economic freedom and personal liberty. Interviews that get done on this show get played on the Megyn Kelly Show, on Timcast, and make national and international news. So we may look like we're not that serious, and I may dress like Mickey Mouse, but at the end of the day, we fight for some serious stuff here on the Wake Up America show. We'd love to have you be a regular guest. So click the like button and follow if you haven't already. I'm speaking to my brother, Justin Peterson, a little bit about the progressive policies of Mayor Wu in Boston, where he's live and joining us this morning. Justin, did you get a chance to watch that clip of the college students talking about the different degrees?
Did.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play that clip right now live. You won't be able to hear it, Justin. It's about a minute and a half, about 90 seconds. And then I want to have you react to it. So you've already seen it, and then you can react to it. So here we go. Hold on a second. And
my name is Jacob, and my concentration is environmental science and sustainable business.
Hi, my name is Lex, and my concentration is the performance of self.
Hi, I'm Gabrielle. My concentration is creative direction, production, and narrative through the arts, performance, and written word.
Hi, my name is Karina Gomez, and my concentration is in journalism and Latin American studies, with an emphasis in human rights, collective memory, and political violence.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Lee, and I studied the sociology of environmental communication.
Hi, my name is Reed, and I study music business and gender studies.
Hi, my name is Dominique, and I studied care politics with a minor in disability studies.
My name is Elliot Wright, and my concentration is art as a social mechanism.
Hi, I'm Georgia, and my concentration is dramatic writing and theatrical adaptation.
My name is Noah Loyacano, and my concentration is equilibrium or negotiated paradox.
Hi, my name is Sophie Lopez, and my concentration is titled Queering and Decolonizing Theater Practice.
Queering and decolonizing theater practice.
What's the concentration? Is that a major?
Okay, so yeah, so her major is queering and decolonizing theater practice. Justin, does, you know, as musical theater experts, you and I, does theater need to be more queer? Is it possible for theater to get any more queer?
Listen, if it gets more gay, it's just going to come right back down to straight again. I mean, you're just going to loop so far around that you're just going to get back to, it's like, what is these straight people doing in here?
And what about decolonizing, just a little bit too much Tennessee Williams?
Too much Tennessee Williams, too much Shakespeare, too much Arthur Miller, too much Sam Shepard, too much Ionesco, too much Ibsen. We've got to get rid of all of that stuff because it's a white patriarchal hegemony. So it must be abolished.
What are we going to do with these kids when they get out
Can
of the
I just
workforce,
say, let me just say this. Every time your listeners hear the word decolonization, all I want them to do is now begin to have the word association of ethnic cleansing, because that's what decolonization is. It is ethnic cleansing. Nothing more and nothing less. That's what it is. So when you hear decolonization, oh, it's not friendly. It's a wolf in sheep's clothing. And it wants to ethnically cleanse the accumulated literature and canon of Western civilization.
I just wonder what kinds of jobs can you get with these degrees? I mean, when I was out there looking for jobs, you had to have legit degrees. Like I have a bachelor's in social work, a master's in social work. when you're a teacher, you have a teaching degree. When you're so it's like I don't know how these degrees work anymore.
Yeah,
They don't make sense.
Todd, Minnesota. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just going to say, there's no more better proof of a couple concepts and things I wanted to say about this. One is, those are all activist degrees.
Oh, yes.
Those are all social activist degrees. So if there's any more proof that these elite institutions are becoming indoctrination mills, there is your proof. Every single one of those people has an activist degree. They're all activists. They have been trained to be little activists for social justice. That's all they are. That's all it is. And here's what's funny to me. It's the height of privilege to be able to go to a college like that and have a degree like that, right? These people that are always crying about their privilege and this and that and the other, and yet they are some of the most privileged people that walk this country's, that walk in this planet, to have these degrees. Like, why not basket weaving? Why not underwater basket weaving?
Yeah, back in our day, underwater basket weaving was the joke.
Yeah,
Gender
was the joke,
studies,
but now
that
it's
was the
true.
joke.
But now it's real.
serious. Yeah, Papa Peterson, speaking of Freedom Family, John D. Peterson, my dad, just texted in, said, make him get a job at McDonald's or Wendy's.
That's probably
Oh,
where
hey.
they'll end up.
The they-thems make the best coffee.
Seriously, though, working at McDonald's is hard work. I really give them major kudos.
It's
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It is hard
No,
work.
it makes me so upset because it's just there's your proof. Like, there's your proof. If everybody that's graduating from the school has these, studies degrees, those are activist degrees. Those are all activist degrees.
Andy Opperman donated $10. He said, what a promising young batch of up-and-coming fry cooks. Yes. And Courtney Conover, she says, so basically they have postmodernist ideology in all ways now as a college major. How useful in society. That's what it is, Justin. The philosophy is postmodernism, the subjective truth.
Well, and then these people go into organizations and foment rot from inside the organization because they bring all of these cultural studies in and they destroy the culture of their places of employment, to the point now where people are red flagging these schools and saying, we're not hiring any of the graduates from this school. We're not hiring any, Harvard. We're not hiring Harvard graduates. We're not or if you put pronouns in your bio, we're not hiring you, because they see these people as a legal threat. If you hire these people, they may sue you.
Yeah.
And people don't want to hire people that are so litigious that they'll come in and be like, well, you didn't say my magic words, so I am going to have to sue you now.
There was a news story that came out just a few months ago about the number of applications that are rejected is very high if you put your pronouns on your resume. So if you say, Austin Peterson, I'm a he, him, and you put that on your resume, those resumes are rejected at a far higher rate. And it's because they're afraid of getting sued.
That's all it is. It has nothing to do with the ideology, because they'd be fine, because you'd be like, okay, fine, whatever, you can think whatever you want to think. It's an indicator, right? It's a heuristic to someone who will probably foment division in your organization and will be a headache to deal with. And people don't want that in their jobs. They want to go to their job, do their job, go home, and they don't want to have to bow to your gods. We should not have to be bowing to each other's gods in our workplaces.
Yeah, well, soon we're all going to be ruled by the blue collar class, because the truth is that the people who actually do things that are useful in society are going to be the ones who are going to inherit the earth. The people who go and learn how to weld, who learn, who can work on oil rigs, who actually, not maybe data information at this point right now is dangerous because of the rise of artificial intelligence. But if you're someone like me and you can actually run the robots and tell the robots what to do, you're going to survive. But here's the thing, Justin, there's a whole generation of people that are completely oblivious to what is coming down the pike in the workforce.
Well, the other thing, too, I would say to your point, here's where it gets troublesome. The people who would do the workaday labor now can't do it because of the influx of immigration. So the people that would be able to have those more workaday jobs and things like that can't get those jobs anymore, because now immigration has become such a, cluster F that people are being forced out of those industries.
Yeah, Todd in Minnesota is our only viewer on Twitch this morning. Good morning. He says low tech beats high tech. Interesting.
I mean,
As long as you can get the jobs, as long as you're not being pushed out to the side by people who have been led into the country without the proper channels and vetting.
I'm not used to worrying about this kind of discrimination. Back in my day, when I used to actually do interviews for social work positions at the hospital I was at, I remember there was one woman who was actually blind who had come in for an interview. And that was definitely some sort of, it was a moral dilemma in terms of discrimination, because we were like, do we discriminate because she's blind and she might not be able to do her job correctly? But now it's like there's this whole, trans, gay, minority. It's like I never had to think about those differences when I was interviewing people back in the day.
Well, it shouldn't. First of all, really, it shouldn't matter. And if you're looking at it from a liberal perspective, it should just be like, okay, yeah, that's Bob, he's gay and whatever. But as long as Bob gets his TPS reports in on time, I don't give a shit. But now we've made everything so central to identity. I just saw last week Venmo, right? The Venmo app that does the money transferring. They were giving away small business loans or grants or something like to that effect. It was like $10,000 they were giving away. And in the application form, you had to fill out if you were one of those marginalized groups, or how was your business going to help marginalized groups, right? So what are you going to do for those people? And I'm like, what kind of a question is this? Like, what if you're just a house cleaner? Like, or what if you're just trying to like get money for, your private voice studio, or whatever you're trying to do? It's like, how does this? It's like when I applied for the job at MU, right, down in Columbia. And that was one of the questions on the application. They're like, what are you doing? It was a diversity statement I had to basically make, and I had to work. And now there's people that are getting hired just to help people write those diversity statements. But I will say many colleges now, and I think even Harvard, is rolling back those diversity statements and saying, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to stop that. So hopefully, that'll stop. But
October 7th was
navel
really
gazing.
Yeah, October 7th was really a wake-up call in academia, wasn't it, Justin?
I mean, yes, but they also kind of just sort of the chickens came home to roost in a way. It's like, why are you so mad about what you fomented? Like this is the baby that you birthed and raised. Like, why are you angry that it's coming back at you like this? So,
I mean,
many colleges.
The terror attacks that happened on October 7th launched the war between Israel and Hamas, and it has torn this country apart. The left is now in a similar situation, Justin, to how they were in 1968. So when the Vietnam War was raging, Hubert Humphrey was nominated in Chicago for the position of the presidential candidate for the Democratic Party. And I'm sure Dad, if he's listening right now, probably remembers the violence outside of the conventions because of the Vietnam War protesters who were protesting against Lyndon Johnson's war in Vietnam. Hubert Humphrey had trepidations about the war, but he was loyal to LBJ. So the protesters, they bolted, and many of those young student anti-war protesters didn't vote for Hubert Humphrey, and he lost the 1968 election. Now, here in 2024, we have a similar situation where Joe Biden faces these threats from the progressive left the Democrats are speaking out of both sides of their face. On one hand, you have Elizabeth Warren, who votes to send bombs to Israel. And then once the bombs are used, she decries it and cries it a war crime. It's a genocide. It's disgusting. It's terrible because they used the bombs that she voted to send them.
What does she think they're going to use them for?
Tea parties.
Put them on
tea parties. I don't know.
Put them on display?
Well, the thing that gets me was also, let's recall, when we think of campus uprisings, Kent State comes to mind, right? During, what was that, 1970 that occurred?
Shootings on Kent State. There were 2 students that were murdered by the National Guard at Kent State campus.
Okay.
The public opinion of that time was that people were not upset about that. Like, I think 60 some odd % of people that were polled said, yeah, okay, well, you brought that on yourself. So people weren't, the outrage machine was probably only 40% of the American population. Which is fascinating, Justin, because even in my history books in Ray Peck High School, 1997 or 8,
the way that the history books have been written is that was what was that? Was that Richard Nixon in 1970? Would have been.
I think it was Nixon.
So
for sure.
the history books, of course, lay all the blame of that on Richard Nixon and the evil Republicans and the fascistic government killing these peaceful students. And listen, it's a terrible thing for something like that to happen. It's a tragedy for students to be killed on college campuses. That should not be happening.
Agree.
But the American people saw it very differently at the time than how we see it too. Not to say that, you can't necessarily have a different opinion of people at the time, but in many ways, the victors write the history, and the progressive left has won the battle of hearts and minds. They are the ones writing the history right now, which is why BLM tears down statues of Thomas Jefferson and George, because they have won the cultural war. And I think that's why we see now so many Republicans, right-wingers, libertarians. They understand that we have to fight the culture wars.
Yes.
We have to be active participants. For a while, there was a struggle within libertarianism over whether or not libertarianism was just about the role of government or whether or not it should also participate in culture wars. And I think that the nomination of Chase Oliver for the Libertarian Party's nomination shows starkly that with the fact that many libertarians are not going to support him, I think it shows that many libertarians recognize that there is a bigger cultural battle, a war for hearts and minds for to define who we are as a nation that is greater than whatever Chase Oliver believes in government that I might support from, because he is not with us when it comes to, he is with Black Lives Matter. He is with Chaz. He is with the woke left. He is with ideologically in terms of the culture. He is on the side of those who tear down statues. And I can't stand with that.
No, I'm the same way. I'm exactly the same way. When all this sort of went down in 2020, one of the things I always tell people that it was my experience was, if you've ever seen the movie The Stepford Wives, the original one, right, 1975.
Oh, I didn't see the original. I saw the more recent.
It's good. Check it out. Don't watch the new one. It's crap.
I love
the old
it
one
because I
is
love
the
trad wife movies.
Well, watch this one because the original one is creepy. But the thing that is in the film is this overwhelming sense of dread that's going on as people around this woman start to become robots, right? People start to become trad wife robots, and everyone, and it's this like creeping thing, and you start to see it everywhere, and everybody starts to say the same words. And when I see Chase Oliver, I see a robot, right? I see someone who has been infected, right? Who has been ideologically infected by this virus, by this illiberal, authoritarian, totalitarian virus. And I think that you have to cut it out at the root. And that's the issue that we have right now. These ideas are bad ideas. They do not lead to human flourishing. They look at what's happening. If these ideas were so successful and were so good, wouldn't they bear fruit? The Bible always talks about, you'll know them by their fruits, right? Well, the fruit stinks, right? And the fruit is rotted. So we have to get these ideological views out, or at least marginalize them. Sorry for the people that are talking about this all the time. I'm like, your views need to be fringe again, because they're not conducive to a healthy society.
I don't think the libertarians should be surprised about this because, they wanted heroin to be legal for 5-year-olds back many years ago. Right. So the signs were all there that they don't respect
and I read that article you sent me,
children and
Austin,
protecting them.
Yeah. And the article that I got from, I think, Austin, you sent me was about like, oh, we need to be serious. We need to, libertarians need to be serious. I'm like, well, what about Vermin Supreme when he wore a boot on his head? Was that serious?
And what about when Gary Johnson stuck his tongue out at a reporter on camera and acted like a goofball the entire 2016 campaign?
The problem I have as an outsider, because I'm not in the libertarian world at all, is that most people look at them as like teenagers, as like political teenagers and adolescents.
They're immature.
Yep, and that's how they behaved when Trump came and spoke to them and offered them an unbelievable deal.
Yeah. So I don't want to sit at the kids' table. I'm sorry. Like, I want to sit with the adults, that's my thing. At this point in the game, that's got to be what it is. And, if you all want to have a social club, go for it. Have your libertarian, nudity, run around, take heroin all you want to. Fine. Okay, whatever. I don't care, because I guess maybe that's my libertarian values there. But
did you know the dad was there at that convention when that went down?
With Vermin Supreme or the naked guy?
Both.
Nice.
Dad was actually in Florida at the convention and saw all of this stuff come down. He
I'm
was
sure
there.
he was like, I'm going to go back to the farm in Peculiar. And
Yeah. It reminds me a little bit of that picture that I have of Dad when the very first time in his life he stepped foot into Times Square.
Yeah.
And he's wearing that hoodie, and it's got like the stains from like digging trees and all this stuff, and he's got his mouth open like this. He's looking down Times Square. He'd never seen that many people together in his life like that, and that's probably the expression that he had on his face when I got booed for saying you should not be allowed to sell heroin to 5-year-olds, right? So there has to be some limits. But the thing is that what Chase Oliver represents, because he came out in favor of Black Lives Matter during the 2020 George Floyd riots, right? And so he culturally identifies with the cultural Marxists.
Yes.
And so for like Stephanie and I were saying before, is that we've got nothing but lectures from people like Dave Smith and Clint Russell and others on the libertarian right who are within the party about the genocide that Israel is committing, Zionist warmongers. What are the Zionist warmongers? What about the children that are being murdered? And just nothing but histrionics and sophistry about how war is the most important thing for libertarians. And then yet when they nominated Chase Oliver, all of a sudden, those right-wing libertarians who told us war was the most important issue, and many of them said Donald Trump is a war criminal who should be in jail. He should be in jail for the rest of his life. These are the tweets that they've been giving it to us, like beating us over the head about the evils of the Jews in Israel and their war crimes, etc. They don't support Chase Oliver. Now, Chase Oliver also thinks that it's a genocide that the Israelis are committing. He is anti-war as it gets. He is as anti-war as them. And yet, there are stated preferences, Justin, and then there are revealed preferences.
Oh, don't get me started on that.
Because I'll get you started on it. We still got 10 more minutes to go. And we have the studio for as long as we want. But a stated preference is war is the most important thing. A revealed preference is I can't support that candidate who agrees with me on my most important thing I thought was the most important thing, but now I realize that not transing the kids and not taking the drag queen story hour is actually more important than the war issue. Stated preferences and revealed preferences. Justin, go.
No, we live in a world right now with social media where everyone's living in their stated preferences online, right?
Yes.
But then when they're in behind closed doors, all of their revealed preferences come out. This happens also in dating situations where I would never date, or you should date this, like the trans dating situation where, oh, well, gay men should date trans women and trans whatever. And gay people say, yes, we should do this. This happens in the gay community all the time. People say, oh, yes, you should do this, you should do that. But then the revealed preference is when something, really happens and they have, someone to date or they meet someone online, they're like, oh, no, thanks, So it's all for virtue points when you're stating your preferences online. But then, when you actually reveal them, I'm like, this is why I'm like, can we just, it takes a lot of chutzpah to be able to live your true values. And it's getting increasingly harder and harder in this world that we're living in.
Yeah.
To say, no, I don't think that's, you should do you, leave me alone. But nobody wants to leave anybody else alone. And that's the problem. But here's the thing, too, with the libertarians. There's been so much, I think, of the leave me alone, let me do my own thing. You can't disengage from society and then complain when you haven't. It's like the little red hen that Dad used to always read us as kids, right? Like, you can't complain about not getting any bread if you didn't go and help the little red hen get all the stuff to make the bread, right? So it's like you don't get to enjoy the bread. You don't get to enjoy the fruits of someone else's work because you just thought, well, I don't want to participate. Like, you have to participate.
Yeah, I love how these keyboard warriors are finally being exposed. Even when we were watching the Tim Pool debate with Pearly Things and Lauren Chen says a lot of things in her tweets, but then once Pearly Things questioned her to her face, why did you say this? Why did you say that? She backed down. So these keyboard warriors, you can see their true self when you get them in real life, and that is what they are so afraid of, being IRL.
Which makes me just, to me, it discredits them because I'm just like, well, then you don't speak. Again, truth is not your highest value.
Oh no.
Attention is, or your narcissism is, or your bank account is. And I'm done with, I don't listen to those people because they're not what I call honest actors. They're not acting in good faith. They're not acting in a sense of pursuing truth and wanting to know what's really true. They are looking for clicks and likes and baiting and all this. So, yeah. But stated preferences and revealed preferences is a fascinating, well, it's the same situation with women who talk about having trans women in their jails. Oh, we should, or in their sports. Or in their sports, Austin, where it's like, yeah, trans women are women. But then they're like, but wait, this woman's just taking away my scholarship. So there's your revealed preference, right? It's like, oh, wait, maybe I don't want my scholarship to get taken away from me or my awards or my trophies. So again, but because the social pressure is so high to say the right thing, the stated preferences are often always at odds.
But do you know what this is, Justin? This is gynocentrism. This is
well, you said that before, and I've really kind of been I've been thinking about that a lot. Yeah.
And what that means, gynocentrism, is that we're a society that values emotions and feelings over facts and hard truths. Right? Yes, we don't. That's what this is. We don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, so we allow them to exist in what they call my truth, which is their fantasy reality, rather than to require people who want to be a part of the civilization that we're all in to dwell in a common shared objective truth, an objective reality. And that is very much because women, the way that their social hierarchies work is that men and women compete in different ways. Men compete openly, brazenly, and we love to compete, and we love to see a winner, and we have a hierarchy that is obvious. Women compete, they don't like to compete, and they have a secret hierarchy that everyone sort of knows who the leader is but doesn't acknowledge as such. And the leader lies to all of the other women in the pecking order and says, "Oh, you're beautiful, you're a 10. You're perfect, you're amazing, you're just like me. We're all in this together." It's the sisterhood. Right, we're all together, and so a gynocentric society is one that lies to one another and says you're all beautiful, you're all 10s, you're all perfect, you all get a participation trophy. Nobody is unique or special, or because everybody is unique and special, and everyone is that way, rather than a masculine society or a patriarchal society where we have a clear hierarchy, we dwell on objective truth, you compete on the battlefield in front of everyone else, you win, you lose, and at the end of the day, if you don't win, you don't win. That's what it is. So returning, we've got flies flying around everywhere all over in the studio here.
Is it because you smell?
Yeah, it must be.
Reproducing the studio.
Yeah, there was one fly when we started the show. Now there's like 6. They're like everywhere around us. That's probably because our ideas are poop. Justin,
Your ideas are poop.
we love you very much, brother. Is there anything else you want to share with our listeners before we let you go today?
No, just have a great weekend, and I don't know.
Justin, what's wrong with
Enjoy the
you? There's
weekend.
1,400 people watching us on Rumble. There's how many?
The giggles.
Yeah, I know you do. There's 1,400 people watching us on Rumble. There are 1,107 people watching us over on X. 2,000 people, and you're not going to give us even a plug for your.
Well, I mean, so if y'all want to read my Substack, I have a Substack, and I talk about vocal pedagogy, which isn't political.
At all.
So maybe you want a respite. But my Substack is at justinpeterson.substack.com. You can subscribe, be a free subscriber, or you can be a paid subscriber. And I'm also a voice teacher here in Boston, and that's my day job. So find me online.
Justin, let's talk later about getting you into Rumble Studio and about doing maybe your own little live streams as well. Maybe a little Justin Peterson podcast. I got some ideas. We'll talk about that later, okay?
Oh, boy. I'm not going to take my top off.
All right.
That would be OnlyFans, not Rumble.
Well, then it's over.
How dare you?
Justin, we love you.
Oh, dang.
We love you,
Okay.
Justin. We'll see you. Are you going to come? No, he's not coming to the baby shower, is he? Not going to be able to make it to the baby shower.
No.
But you will make it for the baby?
I've got 2 weeks in July all blocked off.
He's gonna
So,
try.
Yes, come see us when little baby.
And you better
Hazel
push.
comes.
I got a plane to catch.
That's right. Good, Justin. We love you, Justin. We'll see you next
We
week.
do.
All right. There you go. Yeah, I want to play this clip real quick before we go and play this.
We have some points of business as
We
well.
have a couple of points of
Yes.
business. I want to play this funny clip. This is the upcoming Trump versus Biden debate. and how it's probably going to go. Take a listen.
Now, our first question tonight goes to Mr. Frog.
Mr. Frog, why are you so evil? You have 1 second to respond.
Hello, Time's up, plus you're wrong. The next question is for our beloved and highly intelligent president. Why are you so amazing? You have unlimited time to respond.
Presidential policy.
Is that Rectenwald?
No.
Never mind.
No, Steffi. No. It was how the Trump versus Biden debates are going to go. Yes. So, yes, we do have some business that we have to handle, which is one, we're going to do a gift giveaway. Actually, I think you guys will be happy to hear that. So how do you get entered to win the gift giveaway? Well, if you're a monthly subscriber to the Wake Up America show, well, then you're already entered to win.
So monthly subscriber at wakeupamericashow.com/support.
Yes, wakeupamericashow.com/support is the way to become a monthly subscriber.
If you're a subscriber to your Rumble channel.
Yes, if you're a monthly subscriber through Rumble, then you are also entered to win.
If you're a subscriber to Locals, wakeupamericashow.locals.com.
Yes, then you're also entered to win there.
Oh goodness.
Twitter.
If you're a Twitter subscriber.
If you're a monthly subscriber on Twitter, Instagram.
There's subscriptions everywhere.
And Locals.
Yes, I did.
Okay,
state
so
that one. wakeupamericashow.locals.com.
So
yes.
if in any way you are a monthly subscriber to the Wake Up America show, you are entered to win the gift that we're going to announce in just a moment. But we want to give you a chance while we talk about the giveaway to go ahead and sign up now to become a monthly subscriber. If you've been enjoying the Wake Up America show, say for several weeks, and you want to support the cause, help Stephanie and I to spread the ideas of economic freedom and personal liberty. If you'd like to see this show grow, we'd like to ask you to become a monthly supporter right now. If you're one of the 1,500 people watching us on rumble.com right now, you can become a monthly supporter for $5 a month to help spread the ideas. I think we're worth it. Don't you think we're worth it? Isn't that cute little redheaded libertarian wifey, Steffi?
Do it for the babies.
Do it for the little babies.
We have an unborn baby here with us.
So if you become a monthly subscriber here in the next minute before we announce winners, then you will be entered into the random pool to win the gift giveaway that we're going to do. Do you know what it is that we're going to give away, Stephanie?
Oh, I know what it is.
Okay, so do you want to make the announcement of what it is that we're going to give away on this show right now? I'll pull up the picture of it. Hold on.
Only the most popular item in our shop.
Number one most popular item on the shop currently. Go ahead and make an announcement, Steffi. What are we going to give away to our monthly subscribers now today?
A Libertarians for Trump
flag. Yes.
Let your Trump flag fly.
Yes, we let the Trump flag fly. So if you're a Libertarians for Trump supporter and a monthly supporter, you are definitely going to be happy today because we're going to give away one of our Libertarians for Trump flags to our monthly supporters. So if you are a monthly supporter of the Wake Up America show, I'm going to go through our list right now. And we're going to do a gift giveaway. So let's go check the list. We're going to go see. Go take a look over here and see if we got anybody over here that we can pick from. I'm going to go through the list for our monthly subscribers.
So exciting. Everyone's on edge waiting.
And today, the winner of the Libertarians for Trump flag is going to be Courtney Conover.
She's a Libertarian for Trump. Libertarian for Trump.
We'll substitute it for them if they don't want it. So, Courtney, come on down.
She danced on the aisle.
Yes. So, Courtney, here's how you can redeem your Libertarians for Trump flag. You've got to send us a text to the number that you're going to see on your screen here. Send us a text to 573-319-1586. That's 573-319-1586, and send us your name and your address that you want us to send it to. Also include your email and phone number, Courtney, because the company requires that information for tracking purposes of the package. So name, address, phone number, and email. That way we can track the package in case something happens or gets lost for whatever reason. So, Courtney, congratulations. You are the winner of the Libertarians for Trump flag.
Good job.
You just get to choose. Do you want a black, a yellow, or a white flag? Just text us that information as well to that number that you see on the screen. Now, what else did we have to do business-wise, Stephanie?
Special birthday.
Very special birthday. That's right. Now, I lied to them and told them we were going to do it at the very beginning of the show. I was wrong.
They're still listening.
Yes, I hope that they're still listening as well. I have to go get the information because it disappeared from my rundown for whatever reason, but I have their name saved somewhere else. So give me just a moment because I have one of our regular listeners to the Wake Up America show, and I want to say their name correctly. So give me just half a ding-dang second here.
Yeah,
One
if
moment.
anybody ever wants to make birthday announcements, we'll absolutely do that.
Yeah,
Know how it
here
makes
it is.
people's day.
We've got it. Larry Feltwell. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Larry.
Happy birthday, Larry Feltwell. Congratulations. Hope that you have a wonderful day. And of course, you have your lovely wife, Nicole, to thank for the birthday shout out. So
Such a thoughtful gift.
okay, so now it's the end of the show. It's time for us to go. Somebody else sent me a message, says, and now it seems you have drank the Kool-Aid. Trump, are you serious? What the hell, man? Did you go to Epstein's Island too or what? Is he blackmailing you? Please tell me he's blackmailing you.
No, we're just logical.
Yeah.
We want more than 3%.
Yeah, we want free Ross Ulbricht. We want Libertarian in the cabinet. We want to be on the parole board. We want to have an opportunity to actually spread the ideas of economic freedom and personal liberty, and Chase Oliver ain't it. So no, there you go. All right, so Libertarians for Trump merch exclusively at apforlibertyshop.com. When we get home, we'll make that shirt for our friends who wanted the Texas are gay shirt.
gay.
There you go, Texas are gay.
We have to advertise my show as well.
Oh yeah, that's right, Stephanie, your show.
I don't know if we have that commercial that I made ready.
Oh,
If not,
no, I don't have it
I
ready.
can do my own plug.
Sorry. Go ahead, do your plug,
Have
Stephanie.
you seen my hustling and homemaking show? I'm a trad wife who does it all. And this week, my video is about doing karate at 30 weeks pregnant. Believe it or not, I am still doing workouts. So please go watch my videos. You can actually see it. I think it's still up there at apforlibertyshop.com. Maybe not. If not, you can watch it on Rumble. All of my hustling and homemaking videos are on rumble.com/apforliberty and also youtube.com/apforliberty. And I have a new video coming out every week. Definitely follow that.
The one thing that you can't forget right now, though, before we leave, is you got to click that follow button so you don't forget, okay? Click the follow button on Rumble so you'll find us again on Monday. What's the show schedule, Steffi?
Monday through Friday from 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time.
There we go. Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. So we'll see you right back again here Monday at 7 a.m. Central. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for the Rumble rants. Thank you to rumble.com for putting us on the front page. 2,000 people watching us live here. 1,000 people watching us over at x.com. I wonder how many people, when I go check the analytics, are going to be on apforlibertyshop.com, because when we exit the show, everybody has to exit through the Griff Shop.
That's
They exit through
what we do.
That's right. Exit through the Griff Shop at apforlibertyshop.com. Get your Libertarians for Trump merch, and we'll see you guys on Monday on the Wake Up America show. Steffi?
Be free
at wakeupamericashow.com.
So nice.
Expanse of time, a year might seem like a mere moment, but oh, what a year it's been. In September 2022, Austin and Stephanie Peterson embarked on a journey to wake up America. They began humbly, with just 20 souls tuning in, learning, listening, and though challenges arose, like the looming shadow of YouTube demonetization, their spirit never waned. And now, thanks to you, thousands rise with the sun to join them, to listen, to engage, to be a part of a community. So here's to you, and to Wake Up America, for memories shared, for friends made, for the journey ahead, and for never, ever forgetting to rise and freedom. Happy anniversary.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message. Believe me, Austin Peterson is the best. He's got the greatest Wake Up America show I've ever seen. Whenever I tune in the mornings and watch the live stream, let me tell you, he has got the absolute best content. I love his guests. It's just a total blast to watch, and I highly endorse and recommend the Wake Up America show. It's terrific, believe me.
Is the outdoor of your home about as exciting as a library? Then spice it up and unbore your space with our custom metal signs. Crafted with love and a bit of libertarian magic, you can customize your own metal sign at ap4libertyshop.com. So head to ap4libertyshop.com, customize your own metal sign today.
Welcome to a world of vocal discovery at Peterson Voice Studio. I'm Justin Peterson, here to guide your musical journey. Envision a place where your voice reaches new heights, where every note tells a story. We embrace all singers, from the enthusiastic shower vocalists to aspiring stars, ensuring each voice finds its unique rhythm and tone. Are you ready to elevate your voice? Visit petersonvoicestudio.com and sign up for remote lessons tailored just for you. Let's begin this melodious journey together.
Tired of spending your hard-earned money on woke corporations that don't share your pro-freedom values? Fed up with sipping liberal lattes and progressive cappuccinos? Introducing Founding Flavors from AP for Liberty Shop. Get your day started with Washington's Revolutionary Roast. As robust and principled as the man himself, this blend is the shot of energy heard round the world. Or maybe you want to taste the fervor of freedom with Adams's Patriotic Perk. It's as dynamic and balanced as the U.S. Constitution, sure to awaken your spirit of liberty. For the aficionados, we've got the Jeffersonian Java, a complex mix of flavors that speaks volumes about your refined tastes. And don't forget Betsy's Liberty Lullaby, our decaf option, crafted with the same care and dedication Betsy Ross put into our Star-Spangled Banner. This blend lets you enjoy the taste of freedom anytime without losing sleep. No woke beans here, folks, just pure patriotic pro-freedom flavors brewed with love for liberty. So why compromise your principles for a cup of coffee? Stand up for your values, perk up your patriotism, and start your day the American way. Get your Founding Flavors at ap4libertyshop.com.